the ones that were told in time past, we've not had a good account of all of those. Even the ones close to the airport, it's being currently told. And look at the state of that road.
It's a problem of our constitution. Section 80 of our constitution insists that all revenue must go into the consolidated revenue fund. So it's a revenue. And once it goes there, it waits for budgeting. You cannot have access to it. That is the danger in tolling. If you toll, the toll must go to the concessionaire. That is the person that built the road. But if you allow it to be part of the revenue of the nation, there's the problem. Because it goes into the consolidated revenue fund. So what Nigeria must do, one, it must either create a road fund and allow people that as users fee, you pay. But states in some part of Nigeria will benefit more because they have more roads, they have more vehicles using those roads, they will have more money to maintain the roads. Instead of going to float bonds that you have to pay a lot of interest on, and you cannot even do enough of the roads. That's why when you see a governor laughing, how he manages money, funds for infrastructure development, it's another kettle of fish. It is a headache because the money is not there. Okay. We must pay users' fees. You must pay road. You must establish road funds.
It will be very hard for Nigerians to take that in. You mean in all of the money that we're seeing, and even the money we're told is being frittered away, we still don't have enough money to build infrastructure that we need very urgently.
We are not a very rich nation.
How come?
We spend 71% of our fund on recurrent expenditure.
So why can't
the same thing at the state level. If a state governor tells you how much he pays is a salary, you'll be amazed. The percentage that will remain for infrastructure development. Unfortunately for us, our constitution is not helpful. Our constitution says all money goes into consolidated revenue fund and shared. In some other countries, they don't do so. In Botswana, wealth of a nation, that is money from crude, it goes strictly for infrastructure development. It's not part of the money that you use to pay salaries. So our own economy is run on payment of salary,
which is why
71%.
I want to ask a question. Is it a crime to cut down the amount paid on salaries?
That is the infrastructure. That is the structure that we are unfortunately encouraging. It's a presidential system. It is not a good system for a developing country because it is just too expensive. And there is nothing you can do. Just too expensive to maintain at the expense of infrastructure. The Commonwealth of Nigeria is the money from oil. But we spend this money on less than 1 million people to pay their salaries. In some other countries, it's only internally generated revenue that is utilized in payment of salaries. Any money that comes from the wealth of the nation is used to develop the infrastructure for the nation. But our own is reversed. All our money goes. If you ask any governor, how much do you pay a salary? You'll be amazed. It will be close to 80% of the revenue of that state.
But is that, one would also ask what work those who are there doing that, if...
Getting 80%.
Yeah, exactly, that they're getting 80%.
But if they don't pay...
If it was a little more efficient, we shouldn't criticize the impact.
What are they going to do? That's what they meant.
Yeah, but if they're not doing the work they're being paid for, big questions.
Then you will have to retrench that big problem.
Yeah, but again, it also comes down
Just let us change our system. Our system of government is too prone salaries.
But even without changing the system, something can still be done.
How?
For instance, now look at the states. The engineers complain that if the federal government is not encouraging them, what about the states?
If the state want to encourage you, where is the money?
They've been getting funds at least.
I'm saying it is not enough. They get the funds, but nobody wants to pay users' fees. If you want good roads, please pay. Don't spend all, even if you buy petrol, dedicate a percentage for the maintenance of the road in that state. So that the governor will not go out to look for extra funds to maintain what you enjoy.
You know, it's very interesting you've linked all of this back to our constitution.
Yes.
Are you hopeful about the constitution amendment currently about to start? I mean, we've had a public hearing, so
That's why we need a national conference, whether sovereign or not. Which type of government do we want? Is it government where the load, all the revenue you get goes into the system, or you use your revenue to develop the people?
You're not happy that a constitution amendment, I mean, the constitution amendment process is definitely different from the sovereign conference you're talking about.
Because those people are interested. They are interested parties. The people in the National Assembly, they are interested parties.
Are there any parties that are not interested? I mean, even those who will be calling for the conference, are they not interested?
They are not benefiting. They are aggrieved people that can see things differently. Like the budget in Nigeria now, who is the owner of the budget? Is it the executive budget? Section 4 of the Constitution gives more powers to the National Assembly and Section 80 than the executive. So the executive will prepare the budget. It will take to the National Assembly. The National Assembly represent their constituency, and they will tinker with whatever the executive have prepared.
Fiscal federalism.
Yes.
It's one of the things that the National Assembly has said it will not shy away from.
Let them go ahead.
Are you positive that if they tackle it head on, we would actually be able to make some progress with what we're doing currently?
Will they be interested in reducing their own powers in budgets? They will not. Because the executive, no matter how well-meaning, no matter how brilliant the Minister of Finance is, she is at the mercy of the National Assembly.
But should they be interested in reducing their powers? I mean, those powers were there for a reason. And if properly utilized, they can actually help accelerate development. Is it about...
But their constituency is also involved.
Naturally, the constituency is not outside Nigeria, it's in Nigeria.
Yes. So, in some other countries, how the National Planning Commission or State Planning Commission have exclusive responsibility to plan for the nation. But that is not our own case. If our National Planning Commission have responsibility under our Constitution, it's not even a statutory executive body in the Constitution, to plan properly for the next 10 years with appropriate funds that must be dedicated to the development, fine. But where it is the National Assembly, probably they will think about their constituency. Because when they were campaigning, that was what they told the people, I'm going to bring this road here. I'm going to bring water. But he's not the one to prepare the budget. When the budget comes, he now sits down to now see how he can put his own constituency project in the budget, which will be against the view and planning of the executive. So who owns the government? Under our constitution, it is the National Assembly.
Are we engaging our military engineers enough? I know the government says that they will engage them in some roads in Adamawa, but if you hear say it's all over the world, Egypt, the core of military engineers are building roads. I did it before.
When there was a flood in a road between the north and the south, I called the engineers, the military engineers. In 4 days, they provided the bridge. And that is their training. In some other countries, they involve them. And Nigeria must involve them more because they are very competent. Very, very competent engineers. And they are helpful. But the funds must be available because I have to give them funds.
What do you think is the way out of the quagmire? Because right now you're saying that we should have is it petrol tax, road users?
Road
and as it stands, I mean, you saw the crisis that happened in January over, removal of subsidy. The federal government is saying we're breaking, our backs are nearly breaking in terms of how much we have to pay in terms of subsidy. And then you're now saying the Nigerians should pay extra when we...
No. It's within.
Okay, within the already charged funds.
Yes.
So
you don't add.
Oh.
If you are going to say pay 95 naira,
yes.
5 naira must be used for what purpose? I have a vehicle and I buy petrol. If you tell me, okay, you are buying this report at 95 naira, 5 naira out of this is for your benefit. You are going to have this road in another 2 years. The man will be happy to pay. But what we are saying now, everything you pay in buying petrol has no reflection in the budget of Lagos State, for instance, where 40% of the vehicles are available there.
But they don't.
So don't add.
But is that realistic in terms of how someone would say we're not paying the full price of petrol yet, and then is it us that will be paying that, or the federal government who is dedicating a 5 naira that's supposed to be paying in subsidy? Aside that,
once it goes into the considered revenue, it's meant for health, it's meant for water, it's meant for education. You cannot dedicate it again. But in so many countries, it's a user fee. Even if it's going to be 1 kobo, you know that this money, this petrol I'm buying, will a percentage of it will be available to fix this road. Okay, where do you want government to get money enough to fix the roads?
If we're going to do that, do we now have to create another account so that it doesn't have to go into the consolidated
Yes, it
revenue
doesn't.
fund?
It doesn't. You have a body that would share the money between the federal, the state, and local government, mainly for road construction.
How? What's the guarantee that that money will not be pilfered?
That's what we are saying. But let us have the institution first, so that we can hold us responsible. But we don't have it.
Yeah, but sometimes it's difficult for some people to understand. I mean, to reconcile the fact that, yes, you say we need this road fund. But time and again, EFCC comes up and saying a certain governor has billions of naira in his account, which is filtering away. So where do they get this
Jail
funds?
demand. That doesn't mean you cannot create institution for the benefit of the majority.
Yeah, because if they say the states don't have funds, yet you have billions in some of these governors' accounts.
No matter what, every part of the world, there are things like that. You must have institutions to punish them. We cannot prevent somebody from stealing, but have institutions that will not, in some countries, it is execution. But we have not gotten to that level. But we are going there. Because if this sort of stealing continues, people will be bent to say, look, why are we sparing these people? They are injuring the majority of our people. Get rid of them.